Good morning, class. Today we're going to talk through problem 49 on page 161. Notice here that this is not an equation, but it's an inequality. We normally would multiply through by the LCD, but that's going to make it harder with the critical points, and we might lose some critical points, especially with an inequality. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to subtract over the 1 and then get everything in terms of the same denominator. So we're going to use x minus 1, x plus 1. At this point we got to watch out for distributing the negative to this, but the nice thing that we know that this is really x squared minus 1, so that should make distributing the negative a little bit easier for that one. So then we go down to here, and then we're going to kind of organize the terms here. And we get this over x minus 1, x plus 1. I don't like to factor when there's a negative, the leading term is negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out a negative 1. And we get this. And okay. So now what we're going to do, we have the critical numbers, negative 2/3, 3, 1, negative 1. So we have the here. And so I started to put those on the number line, and then I'm going to plug in values and see what happens here. So let's choose a number greater than 4 and see if that is a solution. So if we plug in 4, we would get negative, and then a positive, and then a positive, and a positive, and a positive. So that whole thing, because of this, would be less than 0, so that would be what we want. That would be a solution. Now let's choose in between here. 2 looks like an obvious choice. We could plug in 2, so that would be, we have that existing negative, that would be a positive, that would be negative. We would have a positive and a positive. This all would be positive. It would be less, it would be greater than 0, so that is not what we want. We have to watch out. If 1 was included, we would have to throw that out because we couldn't have 0 in the denominator. Let's choose 0 as our next one. So that'd be negative, positive, negative over negative, positive. So that's going to be a positive in top, negative in the denominator. So that is not going to work for us. So this is not going to work. Oh, no, let's check that one more time. So that's a positive up top divided by a negative. And then we got to realize that we want things less than 0, so that is a solution. So that is a good spot. Now this is really tricky because we need to find something in between negative 2/3 and negative 1. Suggestion of maybe negative 5/6. So negative 5/6. If we plug that in, and we would get negative 5/6, this would be negative 5/6, this would be positive. And then what we are going to find here, let's just do a little work here. 3 times negative 5/6, so it's negative 15/6 plus 2 would be negative. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 total, so this is going to be positive, so that is not what we want. And then let's just check down here. Let's do like a negative 2. Negative 2, we'd have that existing negative, then we'd have a negative, then we'd have a negative, all over a negative, and negative 2, that would be negative. So 5 of them, this would work. So our total answer here, and I'm going to make this a little bigger. So we are going to have to -1 union -2/3 to 1 union Alright, so go through that and check it over. Have a great day.